Good morning, everybody. I am Dr. Pathak. I am a scientist cum researcher. I did my intake from IIT Mumbai way back in 1974. Later on, out of my keen interest in the Vedic literature, I did PhD in the Vedic literature, interpretation of the Vedic myth from the University of Mumbai. In due course of time, I have published papers on the scientific as well as on the Indological, that is the ancient Indian history topics. And I have had a very long experience of being present at the national, international conferences on science as well as on the Indological topics. And I have also presented papers in these conferences. Now, what made me think on the topic, that is how to read a paper at a seminar and so on, are a few incidences which we normally come across, especially in the Indian circumstances. At the local levels, like a college organizing a seminar for the local international things, or a national body organizing a seminar where people from various colleges and states come, and also sometimes the people from abroad, speakers from the abroad are invited. In these cases, there are the opening ceremony, plenary sessions, where the experts and usually the experienced people present their views. So these are all long lectures, like running into 45 minutes, 1 hour presidential addresses. So these are some of the things which are part of the seminar. But there is another very big part of the seminar which is very important for many of the people participating in the seminar, is that the sessions on different topics. Now, seminar is organized for bringing together people and provoke internal discussions, questioning, interactions and all that. The plenary sessions and the presidential address, etc., they are part of this which highlight the seminar's importance. But what is more important in the seminar for the youngsters or even for the experienced people who come to present their paper at the seminar on their research topics, is these are the sessions. And these sessions, there is a limitation that you are supposed to be, a session is usually for 1 to 1.5 hours. In that session, there are either 4 to 6 papers, and depending upon the paper length and the time of the session, you are given 15 to 20 minutes to present a paper. Now, this is a very crucial thing, that whatever the research you have done over a period of 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, needs to be presented in those 15 to 20 minutes. I'll say this one more thing, is that your paper should be presented in such a manner that it provokes questions. If there are no questions, you can take it granted that your paper has not been read properly. I mean, this is my experience also. I have had good sessions, post-questioning sessions, and people either have not understood or it is so simple that they have understood everything and they have nothing to ask. So that is the way. So the paper which provokes certain questions, which provokes certain queries, they may not always be questioning, are the papers which are most welcome. Now, what is the difference between a publication and a presentation? Now, there are so many journals, and nowadays there are even electronic journals which can be accessed on the internet now. They are all published papers. So you get the paper matter into the written form. Then why do you need these sessions, seminars and conferences? The idea is there is exchange of thought. there are interactions. Some people have very good initiative in talking to people who are doing research, suggesting, in fact, some of the senior people. You can see who is looking at your paper, go and keen and then go and meet him and provoke him to ask you questions, you ask him. So, seminars and the paper presentations are organized for personal interactions and exchange of ideas. In that case, the most important thing is your paper has to provoke questions. Now, any paper has usually 3 to 4 parts. First thing is title of the paper. Now, the title of the paper should be such that it gives gist of all what you are going to present. That is one thing. Secondly, you start with certain assumption, hypothesis, proposition. Now that proposition needs to be properly stated. Third thing is the actual work, the field work. You may have done field work, suppose in case of a sociological sciences, you go to the field, you go to interview people and all that, so you collect data and you have certain conclusions to present. Or if you are proposing a scientific hypothesis, you are performing experiments and all that. So that is the second part of the paper. And third part of the paper usually is the conclusion. As to whatever you have done is to be concluded, and you must impress on the mind of people that you want to say this. Now these are some of the stages which a paper is supposed to expound, tell, convey to the audience. Hypothesis is okay, but the hypothesis, very rarely it happens that the hypothesis is entirely new. No, it doesn't happen. There are always, many people have done earlier work, many people currently you are in touch, they may have done some work, and then you are trying to go a step ahead of the work that is being done or that has been done earlier. So you are going to improvise on the earlier contents of the topic. So in that case, it is necessary that you must give some background of the work which has been done earlier. That background work many times runs into hundreds of pages. Happens. Because if you have worked on a paper which is taken in 3 years, possibly the work of importance being there done earlier has to be summarized. Now in that case, in the span of 15 minutes, are you going to put all these 300 pages or 100 pages of literary survey as it is called? No, that is not the way. So even after pronouncing the proposition or hypothesis or whatever you think, you must summarize whatever has been done earlier by only highlighting the most important landmarks in that area. Yes, these are the people who have done the work, and these 3 or 4 points have to be noted for going ahead. And one of them should be the one which forms a basis of your research work in future. That means you must at the end of these 2 or 3 minutes of the literature research, you must be able to pinpoint a particular proposition, a particular paper, which is the anchor point of your research. Then you come over to your actual work. In the actual work, you should be able to highlight what special provisions you have made. For example, if you are doing some scientific experiment, in that case, what were the factors that you are compelled to measure? There are always many factors, but then there are certain factors which one has to experiment on. Or in case of social topic, what is that particular aspect of the social survey that made you go in depth? Then comes very important part is why at all and how many experiments you did. I know one researcher who had to perform nearly 400 experiments on the same method. Because the end results always used to vary, and that was not within his control. So what he did, to make it statistically significant, he performed almost 400 experiments. No, so he had to justify why so much. Or in case of many times the social survey and all, what do? You can't take a sample of 10 people, just go and ask them, oh, these are the things. People will say 10 people is not more significant. Just as we see that whenever there is predictions of elections, they come out with the figures that 2 lakh, 3 lakh, whatever people were interviewed. And then again they are interviewed from these different segments of etc. etc. So you have to elaborate on the methodology of conducting experiment, conducting surveys, and that should take about 3 to 4 minutes of time, not more. And then finally, you must be able to conclude in specific terms that after these many of the efforts, it is possible to conclude that these are the findings. So, if you are within a span of 10 to 12 minutes, if you are able to pronounce clearly the hypothesis, if you are able to convey to the audience what exactly the work has been done here, if you are able to make it clear to the audience that this is the setup under which you have conducted experiment or conducted survey, and finally what was your result, then I can guarantee you that this particular paper will be listened by many, majority of them. And as you enunciate your findings, as you elaborate on the methodology, it is going to provoke questions in their mind. What would have been done if it had not been there? And this I have experienced. One more thing to be noted is that if you are presenting slides, then you have to restrict your slides. You can't just go on and on presenting the slides. I know I have experienced that thing in one seminar. One youngster had come with 75 slides. I don't know. But he went to the side, he saw the rising sun, and etc. So, by the time 15 minutes were over and the chairman of the session was ringing bells, stop it, stop it. He had not covered in the 1/3. Then virtually that young man had to be removed from the dais. And then he was saying, no, I have not started my topic. No, this is not the way to do. So, even if it is a very important, very lengthy paper and all that, for a presentation of 10 to 20 minutes, you should not have more than 7 to 10 slides. This I can tell you from my experience. Each slide or each plate properly displayed should be explained in 30 minutes to 45 seconds, 30 seconds to 45 seconds. So, your presentation has to be compressed effectively in these 7 to 10 slides. If these many slides are there, you can be sure that each slide will be attentively listened and grasped by the audience. If you keep on giving slides over slides, everything is lost. So another thing, limitation that has to be observed is that for a paper of 10 to 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes for questioning at least, and then these 10 slides have to be accommodated, 7 slides will be accommodated in 3 to 5 minutes. That is how it makes the paper fit. And if you exceed this limit, you can be sure that your paper will only be read. There are certain people who read the paper verbatim. No, it is not the way to read. You are not come to read the paper. You have come to present the paper. And as we say, when we give a present, it is always wrapped in good cover. It is made attractive so that a person who receives feels happy to have received it. So, I will make little correction in my title itself. I have written, read is a conventional word. You are reading a paper at a seminar. But I would like to modify it at the end of the session, saying that you are not present, you are not reading a paper. You are presenting a paper. You are not reading it verbatim. You are not just reading pages. But you are conveying your ideas to the audience so that it provokes them to think over, question, challenge and interact with you. Thank you very much.